Welcome to the Church of Thomas. Mumbai, India, 5/22/09. Recently saw a very interesting documentary about the rich-poor dichotomy that is in India. They have a caste system, and basically there are people who do the most dirty, menial jobs, but they are still important to the society. And then there are lots of castes in between, leading to the Brahma caste, which are considered the leaders and the people who rule things. This program was interesting because basically it highlighted two different people that were making a living in India. Among the teeming, wretchedly poor and the super rich, they're living side by side. Well, there was one rich lady who basically indulged in pretty much anything money could buy. She had a boat, she had a huge house, she had numerous cars, she had furs and jewelry and all the things that people associate with richness. But at the same time, she said that she was doing the best she could to help the poor. When she was asked, how do you reconcile your enormous riches with the horrible poverty that you see around you? And she says, well, I'm doing the best I can. That's an interesting way of looking at it, that she was doing the best she could. She didn't come up with a single example of what she was doing. She just said she was doing it. Now I'm going to contrast this with a young man. And this touched the cockles of my heart here. This definitely warmed me. This was a young man. He had a middle-level job. So he was making probably 10 to 20 or 50 or 100 times more than the average person in his neighborhood. But he lived at home. And we're not talking an 18-room home where all his brothers and sisters lived. He lived with his parents and his sisters in a one-room home. Their business was in the front, and they lived in the building. His sisters would bed down against the wall, and he'd bed down here, and they'd bed down over there, and his parents were in, the cooking area. It was a very organized way of doing it. He could have afforded to move out. But what he was doing with his resources, which compared to his neighbors was quite considerable, is he was making sure that his sisters got educations. And this is in a place where not all girls get educations, because education isn't free. You have to pay for it. I think sometimes we take it for granted that our free educational system here in the United States is just, oh, we could be doing so much better, and, we're paying for it. Yeah, we're paying for it. But every individual who is underage can go to school here. We don't pay for it. It is paid for by our taxes. And there's a good reason for that. Without that basis, then these are people who have no chance of finding a job that will make any money at all to help our society grow. Well, anyway, back to India. This young man was doing for his community as well. He was helping basically with small loans with his neighbors. He was helping with other projects, little undersized projects that would reap huge benefits, but not for himself, for his community. I want to read you a verse. It's Matthew 25:34-40. Then the king will say to those on his right, come, and you are blessed by my Father, and take your inheritance in the kingdom prepared for you since the creation of the world. For I was hungry, and you gave me something to eat. I was thirsty, and you gave me something to drink. I was a stranger, and you invited me in. I needed clothes, and you clothed me. I was sick, and you looked after me. I was in prison, and you came to visit me. Then the righteous will answer him, Lord, when did we see you hungry and feed you, or thirsty and give you something to drink? When did we see you a stranger and invite you in, or need clothes and clothe you? When did we see you sick or in prison, or go to visit you? And the king will reply, I will tell you the truth, whatever you did for one of the least of these brothers of mine, you did for me. This is a very powerful message. No one should ever judge by the resources of the people around them. The greatest souls can reside in the poorest of mean conditions. And who are we to know that a representative of God, or Jesus, is not being shown comfort, compassion, being fed, given something to drink, being comforted, being shown compassion and hospitality? We will never know. But God knows. So I want you to all reach out to everyone. If your heart is telling you that this is someone you need to take care of them. You never know who it is. God bless the whole world. No exceptions. Angel Eliza.